Welcome to the Rewards Master Live Extra. This is the one we do during city nights as it gets started every Friday night. And I'm going to try to schedule them when I can at 5 o'clock on my time. That's 6 o'clock in New York City. So it'll be the City Nights Live. We were talking about that last week, and several of us thought that was kind of a cool concept. So we are tonight going to go over several different, I'm pulling up on here to see how many are in here, but we are going to go over several different comments as we usually do. So let me go through. I think several people are already in here. So coworker 01 says, hey coworker, good to have you here. Good to have you with us tonight. Nurakan says, good afternoon. Nurakan, good to have you here. Thanks for being here. And Dim is here and gives us a wave and says, good evening. Free Music says, hello, RM. Well, hello to you, Free Music. Thanks for being here tonight. Juan Garcia says, good evening, Bob. Congrats on the Atmos Summit. Yeah. So people in my Discord, all my channel members have access to a members-only Discord. And we were talking today with several about, I got approved yesterday for the Atmos Summit, and I was not sure I would because I was 312 and I don't have any Bank of America bank accounts or anything, but I do have the Atmos Ascend card, and I really kind of want to get rid of that one. And the annual fees come and due next month. And so it's like, but if I cancel that card and then I go trying to apply for the Summit card later, wasn't sure that they'd approve me. So all the stars aligned, and I just went ahead last night after our spreadsheet warrior Zoom session, and I went ahead and applied, and boom, instant approval, great credit limit, and 100K plus a 50% off a flight. I don't know if I'll be able to use that though, because I don't ever actually fly Alaska. And I don't think you can use that 50% discount on partner flights like AA, but 100K plus the 25K cert, it's going to be pretty awesome. Pretty excited about it. So that means I'm currently working on 4 sign-up bonuses right now. So, but I have some really big spend coming up, so it shouldn't be any trouble at all. Deb says, congrats on the summit. I think you're going to keep this one. I think I am. It's looking that way. Coder Corral is here tonight. Says, evening. Thanks for being here, Coder. Thanks for being a spreadsheet warrior. Nick is here. Says, evening, Bob. Good to have you here, Nick. Ron Byrne on the East Coast just hit 6 p.m. so I can pick up my pizza for City Nights. This is the City Nights Live, 6 p.m. on the East Coast. Keg Tap is here and says, hey, Bop and everyone. Good to have you here, Keg. Coder says one of the Atmos cards is on my roadmap before I go on a long trip to Japan at the end of the year. Got to try to max out the 3X overseas. Yeah, that's going to be a big use of mine. And I'm going to put out a video on some for big spenders. And in fact, tomorrow night, I don't know if any of you are in Anthony Venture's school community, but I will be doing a special with Anthony Venture in his school. I don't know what school is, but I've been given an invite and he wants to have me on there. But we're going to do something tomorrow night on some family travel, which I'm not the biggest expert in the world on, but we're going to do some on big spending. And this Atmos is going to be a big part of it because, man, if you can spend that 60K, the multipliers they rival any card on the market if you can spend the 60K. Because if you spend the 60K and you figure that 100K cert is worth 100K, then you're looking at an extra 1.6X on top of everything else. And I'm going to do a video on it soon. So it'll go through all that. Oh, okay. Ian is here and says about to crush City Nights. Good deal. Paul Davis, good evening, RM. Currently at 31,000 on my way from 31,000 feet on my way from SFO to DFW, upgraded to first class, but took off 2 hours late. Paul, that is an upgrade. You shouldn't have to say upgraded to first class. When you say upgraded, I know what you mean. You got upgraded to first class, but 2 hours late, no fun. No fun at all. All right. Ian says, how many millions will you have at the end? 4. I'm confused as to what you meant. Hold on. 4. Let me see. How many millions we have at the end. I'm probably being dense, so just clarify, Ian. Coworker, as new cards and refreshes are happening, I'm wondering why banks aren't leaning into luxury benefits multipliers for things like jewelry, designer clothes, online shopping, etc. Curious what you think. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably hard for them to code some of that stuff. Like a restaurant codes as a restaurant, but does McDonald's code that much different than, say, Ruth's Chris? I don't know. I mean, a retailer codes as a retailer, but does a little corner novelty shop code different than a Rolex dealer? I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's the problem. All right, Margraf, about to order Uber Eats for some City Nights here shortly. Good deal. This is the City Nights live stream, that's for sure. 4 subs. Oh, yeah. Then I'm working on 4 subs. Yeah. No, let me see. The 4 subs, I'll get $65K. That's a business card with AA. I'll get $50K, and that's not really a sub. It's an upgrade offer for my Delta card from gold to platinum. So that's 65, 50. That's 115K, 100K on the Ink Preferred, and then 100K on the new Atmos Summit. So 315K. So yeah, good amount. Sorry for my denseness there. Coder, I feel like a lot of spend gets us certain cards are unrated. If you can max it out, something like the Surpass can easily be an effective 5X plus catch-all for the first 15K. Yeah, I mean, the Surpass is great because that free night cert is really, really valuable. Stinky Monkey Baby, congrats on the summit. Thank you, Stinky Monkey Baby, and congrats on having the coolest name on YouTube. All right, so tonight, as is typical on Friday nights, I go through recent comments and I don't sugarcoat them. Some are good, some are critical, and we go through them anyway and try to answer questions and things. Go ahead and put in comments if you have any more, and I'll try to get to them. There are about 35 people watching, and 13 people have hit the like button. So hit the like button if you don't mind. Maybe more people will get on here. I'd like to get up to about, on these Friday nights, we usually have somewhere between 50 and 70. So it'd be really good to get there, and hitting the like button helps a lot. So, all right. Add to stage. Here we go. Here is the first comment on my video recently. The City Custom Cash is gone, but you may still be able to get one. I product changed to a custom cash from my free Strata card right as they were making the change. And so I wanted to make sure I had as many as I could. So we have 3 now. Henry Lee says, just product changed my City Strata to a custom cash. So same thing I did tonight over the phone. I already have the double cash. I just need to get the Strata Premier or the Elite now. Thanks for the video. And so what I was pointing out is this was after they shut down applications. So the fear originally was you'd have to product change before that because the card wouldn't be available anymore, kind of like the Prestige. You can't product change to it now. But clearly Henry Lee was able to product change many days after that card is no longer available. So I guess that's what that's saying to us, is that there's still a path to get custom caches. You just have to get other cards first and then be able to product change them over. And what card that is, who knows, because City's weird about that. Sometimes they allow product changes from one card to a different card. Sometimes they don't. So Spartan of Finance, I did a pre-approval for Built Palladium, and they said I would be approved for a $50,000 limit. What's up with that? My total credit is about $200K, but I'm tempted. Yeah, $50K seems to be the new normal on Built when it comes to their credit limits. That's what I have. That's what a lot of people got moved to recently. So, yeah, total credit $200K. That's good. But yeah, I'm not surprised at all, because to me, if a person is pretty responsible, and if they have, now that's not to say that people don't get approved for Built aren't responsible, because I have no idea why they approve the people they do and don't approve some people. I mean, I don't know. But if they're going to approve somebody with a high credit score and good income, it seems like they're going to give that $50K. So seems like par for the course. Coworker, that's a good point, RM. I know MX has 3X on online retail. I could see maybe like retail multipliers more broadly, and then some luxury brands as credits, like how MX has Lululemon. Yeah. The problem with retail broadly is people would slam that. I mean, you can only eat so much at restaurants, but as far as buying retail, wow, so many things code as retail. So that would be somewhat of a challenge. That online retail, yeah, they have that. So I guess they probably could do it. But luxury brand credits like Lululemon, yeah, I think they probably could. The problem is finding luxury brands that appeal broadly, right? I mean, if you did something fancy like Omega watches or something, I mean, just not that big of a market of people want that exact thing. Lululemon's pretty broad, but even that's somewhat narrow. But it's broader than many things would be. I mean, some people might like Allen Edmonds shoes or Brooks Brothers suits, or other people might like high-end golf shirts, or some people, ladies would like high-end dress stores, whatever. But to get it broad, for it to appeal to a lot of people, I think it probably kind of hard. Maybe that's the reason they don't lean into that. But they certainly want that market. There's no doubt. Paul Davis says, did you hear any rumors about B of A points eventually being able to transfer to Alaska? If so, that changes everything. I haven't heard rumors. I heard Alaska, one of their executives said publicly that he wants that to happen, but that doesn't mean B of A wants that to happen. And I haven't heard anything conclusively from them at all. Mike Newland, the man, the myth, the legend, one of our spreadsheet warriors and a great friend of the channel. Good to see you here tonight, Mike. Mike says the fact that you can still product change to the city custom cash, could it just be a refresh? I don't think it's a refresh. I think that they probably are going to come out with a new card. I mean, I can't say for sure, of course, but I think they'll probably come out with a new card that's probably a rotating category card, if I had to guess. I think it's easier to control costs. I think people were getting multiple, like myself, getting multiple custom caches and maxing those things out, getting lots and lots of points. So that, Chase and Discover don't have that issue with those rotating categories. People hit some categories much harder than others. So Margraf says the new changes to AA limiting nonstop partner bookings within 6 days of leaving is a tough one to swallow. It hurts me worse than most people. That one was really hard because I've done that, especially with Alaska. I have booked the day before, sometimes the same day, and then canceled my other flight. And yeah, that one's going to be painful. That one's painful. And I just don't know why they're doing that. I guess they saw too many people canceling their AA flight last minute and booking with somebody else to fly on the exact same plane. Maybe that's the reason. But yeah, I agree. That one, a lot of this credit card news that people say is huge news. It's just terrible. The sky is falling. I always think like, no big deal. That one, though, kind of a big deal to me personally. Family Travel John, welcome to the Summit Club. I'm glad to be a member. Damn, what's wrong with Omega? Just got a white face Speedmaster for my birthday in April. Nothing's wrong with Omega. I'm not balling enough to have real ones, but I have 4 of the swatch ones. What do they call those? The moon swatches. That's the one I can collect, and I love them. I'm just saying that not the wide swath of the market to find enough people who are Omega lovers for credit might be hard, but I'm with you, Dem. You guys build my channel up big enough and I'm getting me a real Speedmaster. So yeah, that would be awesome because I love them. Dr. Chris Heidelberg, good to have here. Doc says the Summit is that card. It is pretty good. I'm excited about not having to pay a partner award booking fee. That's going to be really nice. My cryptoling says, happy Friday. Chase is doing a great job of pushing me towards the other cards issuers by not having 3X grocery and 2X on everything. Sigh. Yeah. We haven't talked because I intentionally didn't put out a breaking news video on the changes to the Sapphire Preferred. And I didn't do that because, I could have probably got a couple referrals, and I know that's why everybody was pushing it so hard, because it was a referral gold mine, because it's like, get it in the next 5 days or your transfer to Hyatt won't be as good, so. But when it comes to the card, I'm actually probably I was going to get rid of my Ink Preferred, and then I was going to keep the Ink Preferred, and I was going to get rid of the Sapphire Preferred. But now that I'm getting $100 back in that hotel credit, I might do the opposite. I mean, I'm liking the Ink Preferred. I mainly did it for the sub, but I thought, well, I can separate that travel category so broad. But I was going to use it overseas mostly, and this new Summit card is going to replace that. So, yeah, I think that the changes with gas and stuff, it would improve the card. It made it better. The Hyatt stuff, yeah, not good for Hyatt people. For me, I mean, I pay for hotels, so for me, not a big deal. But yeah, it's Chase though. They still can't quite just match what Citi does or Wells Fargo does on a free card. They just can't do it. I mean, and they're still giving 1.5x as a catch-all, which is, you're right, it's just substandard, very much so. Dim gives $9.99 for the Omega Fund. Hey, baby, that's awesome. Thank you. $9.99 for the Omega Fund. That would be great. You just feel bad that I'm walking around in the moon swatches, aren't you? That's what the real Omega guy is like, feeling pity on us moon swatch people. I get it. Coder says, I actually just opened up a B of A account today in case the transfers do come there. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. I'm going to be opening one up soon, a bank account, just so I can get the extra 10% boost. That's my plan, at least. Paul says, any idea what Greg and others might have done to get canceled from Citi? Yeah, shenanigans. He was doing some manufactured spend stuff, the way I understand it. And, he said when he talked about it, he wasn't mad. He said he knew he was taking a risk, and then he got shut down. So I think it was much more innocent on his part with the Capital One shutdown he had a few years ago. DGAS says, I believe you can use the award certificate on Alaska and partner award bookings. Really? The 50% off? Now, the award certificate, the 25K, yes, I know that. But I was meaning the 50% off free flight certificate they give also. So I'm thinking not. But if anybody knows different, please let me know. Dim, I may or may not have a few Omega swatches too. Great for travel. Yeah, if you beat them up, you don't care too much on a $300 watch, right? So yeah, the nicest real, Swiss watch I have is just a Tissot. But I like it. It's pretty nice. So trying to get into that. In Mississippi, though, my Tissot is like the nicest watch around. So I guess that's pretty good. Coder says MS plus credit cycling. Yep, that's right. Credit cycling. He was also, what that means is to get more spend on the card. He was spending on the card up to his limit, paying it off, spending more up to his limit, paying it off, spending more up to his limit, paying it off. And that is a no-no. Don't do that. Mr. Mike Newland, the man, the myth, the legend, 20 gifted Reward Master memberships. If any of you receive any of those, make sure to thank Mr. Mike. Mike, thank you so much for your continuing, ongoing great support of the channel. Appreciate it very, very much. All right, Nurican. So will you be checking out the Alaska lounges soon, having the Summit card? The one in PDX just opened, looks great. Well, I never fly to Portland, even though I've met Nona in Portland in college years and years ago, but I used to live out west and worked out west for years, and I haven't been back to Portland in probably 10 years. But I do fly through some places that probably have them. Somebody tell me where they all are, because I know there aren't that many, and they're all on the West Coast, I'm thinking. but I go to Seattle sometimes, occasionally. So I'll probably go to one there. Can you go to those on arrival, or is it just on departure or layover? That's the real question. But yeah, I'd like to check them out. Okay. Next comment on here. Which credit card ecosystem would hurt most to lose? This is where this is a collaboration that, yeah, Travis and I had a disastrous live stream. And so I ended up putting it out as a video the next day. And thank y'all for your patience on that. I've got the problem resolved. I'm assuming everything's working smooth. It is on my end. I had high internet. I was using my tablet, and I have a Microsoft Surface tablet, and it works fine most of the time, but I think it was taxing its processor. So I switched to my other computer that has 32 gigs and a big time processor. And boy, it's just working smooth as silk. But it's not the internet, because I was having over 100 upload and download speeds, and I have that again tonight. I checked it before I got on. So yeah, we got that worked out. But this is on the video, Gary, the Points CFO, great guy, friend of the channel, says, gents, with the recent Hyatt deval, Points deval on Chase, do you think I should start moving Bilt or Chase to Hyatt ASAP while you can? I moved all my Chase to Hyatt this week. Well, Gary, and everyone who's interested in this, I'm not the biggest expert on YouTube when it comes to any kind of hotel points, but not Hyatt even. But I will say this. It seems like a lot's changing fast with Hyatt. I think Hyatt maybe didn't have the profitability numbers they wanted. So either they're charging extra for the points and these banks are having to pony up, or yeah, I think that's probably it. Or maybe Hyatt is pressuring the banks to make their points more scarce so they don't have to devalue and their program not have the reputation of being the best one. I don't know. So my guess on this question would be, I think it's very possible that Hyatt's going to continue to slide. And it may not be that they continue to raise rates. It may be that they make it harder to get the points to them. And that's what they've just done with the Sapphire Preferred thing. Coworker just got into watches, but Omega is definitely out of my price range. Maybe one day with an Amex credit. Yeah, if they had one, that would be awesome. I will ask y'all this. Maybe you know this, but we are going to Taiwan, to Korea, and to Hong Kong this fall. I understand. Is that a better place to buy a watch as far as price-wise? Can you get a better deal there? Coworker, I think Seattle and CFO have Alaska lounges. Working on one in Honolulu too, I think. Okay. Well, we do go there every few years. Sheldon Watkins, thanks Mike Newland, the man, for the membership. Mike Newland says he's welcome. Coworker, what would the cent per point ratio need to be before you would consider using points for hotels? If it was 2.5 consistently to 3, I probably would, but it's not so much about that. It's about having to use all these ridiculous hotel credits I have. I mean, I have like between $2,000 and $3,000 in hotel credits I have to use up every year. And then free night certs on top of that. So it's like, yeah, that's the big problem, is that, I wouldn't be using points for flights either if I had a whole bunch of flight credits to use. So that's kind of what it comes down to. Coworker, I saw in Japan, you definitely can get watches a bit cheaper, avoid the VAT tax and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I might just splurge on something. I probably have to do a used one, but I don't know. Maybe so. Mike Newland, you think if BOA gets transfer partners, it will pull Alaska out of the Bilt program? Boy, I don't know. But if they announce that they're doing that, I'm moving all my points to Atmos right away, just to be on the safe side. Dim, I redeemed about 209,000 points for our Japan trip at 2.19, 2.54, and 3.43 respectively. That's pretty good. Ian says, I could never afford the hotels I stay at, $2 to $7K per night. 1,000 per night, points all day for me. Makes sense. We really like FHR type stuff. And then free nights with Hilton and Marriott and all that. Free music, counterfeit watch is common in Southeast Asia, except Japan. All right, well, I'm going to keep that in mind. Okay, I don't believe this. This is just awesome. MJ-tastic, $49.90. I mean, this may be my last moment. That's incredible. Thank you so much. That's amazing. $49.99. Hey, RM, request for member content. I'd love watch me redeem videos where you just record actual word bookings as they happen. I'm earning a ton of points now, and seeing real redemptions would help me learn and stay motivated. Man, thank you so much. And I'm going to work on that because I just appreciate you. I mean, that is awesome. Thank you for the gift. Appreciate that very, very, very much. That's the largest gift I've ever gotten on this channel. That is great. Well, no, I can't say that because Mike Newland's given me so many memberships. Mike, that's overall the greatest gift ever. But this is really awesome, MJ. Thank you so, so very much. Coder, I saw that you joined the Capital One Offers Club. Welcome. Enjoy your 20x points. It's amazing. I'm getting ready to do a video on that. It's amazing. I mean, I was like, my Venture X was a sock drawer card. Now it's in my wallet because I went to Dollar General yesterday and I got 50 points per dollar. Hear that? 50 points per dollar at Dollar General. Yeah, just buying Monster energy drinks. It is awesome. It's those Capital One, offers that they have in the app. Dim, built in Alaska have a really good relationship, so I doubt it. Yeah, well, I'm hoping not. American Tarmacker, great place to buy watches and Rolex. Yeah, Rolex, that's even a higher aspiration. I am afraid of fakes, though. I don't know. I couldn't tell the difference. So I guess if you get the box and papers, that would help. But Dim for hotels. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Dim. Because if you're getting flights, you're getting it better than 2.73. I know. MJ, it's my pleasure, RM. Your videos are the first videos out. That is an honor. That means just as much as the gift. Thank you so very, very much. Coworker, if you're into Grand Seiko, I think Japan even has some watches that are only available there. Yeah, those are really nice as well. And they're more affordable. Not cheap, but more affordable. Coder, Dollar General and CVS are my go-to stores. Yeah, Dollar General, their prices are pretty good. When you live in small town, I mean, we've got it. Sometimes you'll be driving through rural Mississippi and there's nothing. I mean, nothing. And then there's a Dollar General with a grocery store and a gas station. I mean, they rule the world in the rural South. Mike, CDEM, Cap One for Life offers rock. Yeah. Did they have it on your platinum card, Mike? Your Cap One platinum card? No Way Jeffy says Capital One offers can stack with Rakuten in store too. That is awesome. I haven't done that yet, but I plan to. All right, I'm still just recovering from the 20 gifts and the $49.99 super chat and the $9.99. This is a great night. Thank y'all. All right, here we go. Which credit card ecosystem would hurt the most to lose? This is still that video that I did with Travis, and Ivan said Comfort Suites can actually be very clean and comfortable depending on the location. There's one near my primary airport that's those things, and it's highest rated hotel near the airport. Yeah, Travis loves Comfort Inns. He loves them. I think I've stayed in one twice in my life. It was a Quality Inn. And Nona, we were laughing about this on it. And in fact, I showed her, she, believe it or not, she doesn't watch every moment of all of my videos, but we were sitting on the couch and I fast forwarded to that part and she just died laughing when I was talking about there ain't no way I'm getting Nona in a Quality Inn. She is just too bougie for that. And so Ivan's just trying to be a apologist, a defender of Comfort Suites and that they can be pretty good. So I'm going to take his word for it. If anybody has any comfort suite experiences, let me know. MR Bobby says video suggestion. Oops, lost it there. Video suggestion, how to get good awards on United, AA, and Delta. Actually, I'm working on something like that, particularly for international. I did a lot of research and tried to find the cheapest possible awards because I'm going to start looking into booking some economy and paying for the middle seat because I'm not sure that's not just as good as premium. So I had to research a lot of awards. So Mr. Bobby, you might have some stuff coming on that. Dem says, I finance Dollar General buildings across the country. Oh, really? Pretty remarkable how some rural areas rely on them entirely for grocery. Yeah, it was kind of sad because we're on our farm. We're about 20 miles out of the main town of Tupelo, but there's a little town like 4 minutes from us. And all during COVID, they had a family run it's the most janky looking grocery store you ever saw, but they had groceries. And this grocery store had been run by the same family for 30 years. And all during COVID, it was the only place. I mean, you drive into Tupelo and you could not get toilet paper. You could not get hand sanitizer. But our little grocery store 4 minutes away never ran out. They always had. And I asked them one time, you always have toilet paper? She said, well, honey, out here in the country, everybody's stocked up on everything all the time. And I said, oh, well, that makes sense. So I was sad because the Dollar General in that same little town, and that town has 212 people in it, 212 people. And they have a Dollar General, a little restaurant, a cafe, breakfast cafe. They had that grocery store and 2 gas stations and an ice cream shop and a bank and like 7 churches. That's Mississippi. But in that town, then the Dollar General got produce and the grocery store didn't last 6 months. It was sad. All right. Ian says, I finance them also, Dem, with all the gift cards I buy. I guess you guys finance them from opposite directions in different ways. Family Travel John, Bob, you could already access Alaska lounges with your AA executive card, but now with the summit, you can get top shelf wine and liquor at no charge when you visit. All right. That's a perk. All right, let me go to the next slide. This is also on the same video I did with Travis. Greg B says, love the discussion about Built. Reality is they give you incentive to spend and earn lots of points, and the points are valuable. At one time, Chase held this role, but they really messed up with their changes. Yeah, I mean, Built, I know people get tired of us. A lot of my people are big into Built. A lot of you are, but some people I know just think that we go on about it too much. But I'm running the numbers and I'm willing to switch. I mean, that's just the way my loyalty. I'm not a fanboy of anything except BOP and what I can get out of it. So as soon as Built's not good, I'll switch to something else. But it's so good. It's so good. And there's just no comparison between what you can get with that ecosystem and others. And I think we're seeing the effect. I actually think the changes to the Sapphire Preferred, why would Chase do that? Why would Chase make a card better with no increase in annual fee? Why would they do that? They're Chase. And that's the number one travel card I think that there is. Why would they do that? They're getting pressure from somewhere. So the next one, my prediction, next one is Capital One. They're going to have to do something with the Venture X, I predict. But I may be wrong, but we'll see. Dim says, Ian, the landlords that own those properties, thank you for the support. Yeah, for sure. Family Travel John, locations are in Anchorage, LAX, San Francisco, Phoenix, and 3 in Seattle. In concourse is by far the best. All right. I'll keep that in mind next time I'm up there. I do go to Phoenix sometimes. So that's a good one to know. Coworker, I forgot if you mentioned this in other lives, but have you tried home away from home yet? How was it if you have? I am getting ready to book one as soon as July rolls around because I need to get my next credit with Bill that doesn't come around till the second half of the year. I have booked with the hotel credit for the creator meetup, but I didn't have status at the time. So I couldn't do the home away from home, but I did use $200 credit plus $50 in Built cash for the last half of the creator meetup coming up in September in South Carolina. So I'll be staying at the Wild Dunes with everybody else for the first 2 nights, and then the last 2 nights stay at a place offsite. But I did get their like presidential suite or whatever. It was really cheap, and it was, I don't know how nice the place will be, but you know, if you're in the best suite, surely the best room in a not great hotel is pretty good, you'd think. But I have not used it yet, but we're planning to use it at the Shangri-La in Taipei this fall for a 2-night stay. Coder, I imagine VentureX update will be after all of the Discover stuff is done. Would be a good chance to rebalance their lineup. Correct. I think it's coming. I think they're working on that first, and then it's coming. Salty O'Rourke, channel member, says no change in the CSP annual fee. Chase may be planning a new Sapphire card to slot in between preferred and reserve. Yeah, and I think it was to stop bleeding. And they're trying, the Hyatt thing also was to push people towards that. Clearly the reserve card has not gotten the signups they thought. I mean, Amex just slammed them when they came out with the refresh on the platinum card, for sure. Tampa Travel, Chase made changes to compete with the City Strata Premier. Yeah, is it? You know, I want to say it's not even close to as good as the Strata Premier, because I do think City points are better. It's so weird to me when creators say that Chase points are so valuable. I don't think they are, but I think City points are more valuable. But I do like that you got $100 hotel credit that you only have to spend $100. I mean, I like that. I don't like the $100 for $500 spend. I don't like that. So I do think that Premier's a better card, but the preferred is easier to get to net zero or better. So that's a benefit. I mean, they did get much closer, no doubt. Mustard Stew. That's a cool name. Mustard Stew. That's not quite Stinky Monkey Baby, but it's still really, really cool and really a great honorable mention. Fond memories of the Shangri-La in Bangkok 15 years ago now, though. Yeah, we might have a stay in Bangkok. We're not going to Bangkok. I was thinking Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, we're staying at the Conrad because Nona loves her Conrads. We're staying at JW Marriott, and then we've got a night. Where's the other night? I don't know. It's leaving my mind, but we've got 3 different nights, 3 different hotels there. So we're excited to stay there. Oh, it's the Intercontinental. Margraf says, make sure you go to Lewis Barbecue in CHS. Beef brisket best brisket I found outside of Austin. Oh, CHS. I'm losing my mind. Tell me what CHS is. CHS. I should probably know, but I'll know when you tell me. Mike Newland, City made their cards earning cards for everyday users. They sure did. And I think, it put pressure, and Bill's put pressure. And y'all understand, all this pressure is really good for us, the consumer, because that means there's competition, and competition is always good for consumers. Charleston. All right, there we go. Yep, I should have known that. I fly through there all the time. Charleston, yeah. We do go through there, and we even stop there sometimes. So, but last time we did, it was because we had to cancel flight, and I booked a cheap hotel, and I will never live that down. Nona, I'm telling you, Nona will sleep on the side of the road before she ever stays in the La Quinta again. That was a La Quinta, and oh my, we slept in our clothes on top of it after we put things down. It was awful. So that's how she thinks of Quality Inn. I know they're probably not the same, but I'm telling you, there will be no La Quintas ever because of that one in Charleston. Silver 3ism says, my platinum card annual fee just hit. I got $2,000 worth of value in 1 year with a $695 annual fee. Let's see how much value I get in year 2. Yeah, I mean, of course, you're going to have an $895 fee now, but I think you can still get the $2,000. It's no problem. So it's a keeper for us. We're keeping that. And now I was debating on my Amex Business Platinum, but now with the ChatGPT credit, keeping it too. Family Travel John, Portland, not Phoenix for that lounge, sadly. Oh, Portland. Yeah. PH. Yeah. Got it. All right. Well, yeah, I don't go through Portland, but I do go through Phoenix a lot. So I wish they had one there that I could try out. All right. Tested Built 2.0 hotel credits. This is an old video, but it came back up in one of the comments. And so here's what actually happened. So this is where I walked through a booking that I did, the one I'm going to do for Charlotte. And She's No Help, interesting name, says this is a fantastic step-by-step of the hotel credit, as well as incorporating Built Cash in the mix. Thank you. Yeah, and what I wanted to highlight there, and I appreciate that. Thank you, She's No Help. But what I really wanted to highlight there was how cool the Built hotel credit with Built Cash is, because it's just extra value. And the Built Cash, sometimes people will comment on my videos and be like, yeah, but you got to spend $200 on the, no, you don't spend $200 to get Accelerator. You spend $200 of Built Cash, and that is monopoly money. Now, I understand you can use it one-to-one for Walgreens and for Lyft and for hotels. And yeah, you can have, if a person wanted to use all their Built Cash for hotel credits, and that would be a one-to-one $1,600 in hotel credits every year if you went once a month. But most people won't do that. So I don't think it's like spending $200 on it. They're not dollars. They're Built Cash. And so any way you can get more value, to me, is a good value with that. Mercedes Cherokee says, I'm 424 with 0 chase cards, debating if I get preferred. I like the portal for international business. I like the points for international business. Yeah. Business on what airlines? Because, you can get pretty much all of Chase's partners with others as well. But if you want to get the preferred, I don't think it's a bad card now. If you say you're interested in international business class, so that means you're not focused on Hyatt. I think it's way better than it was, honestly. So I don't think it's a bad move. And if you want referral links, there's like 17 videos that just came out this last week. So there'll be plenty if you want to get the card. Sticky Monkey Baby, MJ just made the effective annual fee on your new Summit card now $345. Yes. Yes, he did. He just helped pay for it, and I appreciate it very, very much. All right, post-built, why most cards are now irrelevant. This is an older video also that I did right after Built came out with the Obsidian, and I was going over that. Jay Kelsey said, Venture X and Wells Fargo and Double Cash are still relevant for taxes as Built gets you nothing there. Yes. And I wanted to point that out. Built does have that weakness, and not everybody pays quarterly taxes. But those of us who do, and I do, and I pay a lot in taxes. And so I have to have cards to put that on. Now, what I've typically used it for is sign-up bonuses. I might be using it for Atmos. But Jay Kelsey makes a good point. Other cards are necessary if you got to pay taxes, because Built doesn't allow it. Silver 3ism, I thought booking through Built Portal count toward your hotel status. I think it does on home away from home. I'm not sure, though. I haven't done it yet for home away from home. And the hotel I booked was a boutique. So, damn, property taxes work with Built. Okay, just not income taxes. We've tested that in numerous municipalities. Good. Coder, in my opinion, a 2X card without a sub isn't worth it to pay taxes. Yeah, I would probably be there too. I'm going to work on a sub on my taxes most of the time, unless I'm getting something else like a spend bonus or something. Damn, IRS, definitely not. Yep, that's the point. No federal taxes, and probably no state either, I would think. All right, let's go. The custom cash is gone, but you may still be able to get one. So it's that same one. Now, what I want to really highlight here is, well, Background Balloon, who's often in here, said, I'm going to see if I can product change my no annual fee strata to the custom cash in September. But then New Again, who often has very provocative and good comments, says, City, said it a little different, but I'll say City is definitely redoing its lineup again. They've clearly been cutting costs, and that free Strata card stinks. They could have at least given it a no foreign transaction fee to, and I think that's a little harsh. I think it's a good card. I do wish they had no foreign transaction fees like Capital One does on all their cards, but I do think the observation that they're cutting costs is probably right. And I'm going to say something that people won't like, but this is my opinion. I wouldn't be upset if Citi changed the transfer rate on the preferred to American Airlines and did the same thing Chase just did with Hyatt, because the end result is I'm worried that American points are beginning to get devalued because there's so many people that have them now. And that would limit how many people transferred them over. And scarcity equals value. Scarcity does. So, I mean, I see why they're doing that. And Hyatt may be driving it either by the charge cost they're charging for their points, or they could be driving it because they just want to be able to keep the value up. And so I don't know. I think Citi probably is paying a pretty penny for those American points. We'll see what their next move is. Okay, Dem says, Coder, I have a 7-figure property tax bill yearly. Can only hit so many subs with that. Yeah, that's a problem most people don't have, Dem, but that's a good one. Chad's Money Minutes. Hey, Chad, good to have you here. Says, yo, good to have you in. Count on Me says, howdy, RM. Hey, Count, good to have you here. Thanks for joining in. All right. Here's a comment on, are annual fees worth it? Are your annual fees worth it? And I kind of evaluated high annual fee cards. Geronoso said, what cards can allow a family member inside lounges without card member present? Okay, this is interesting. You might be tempted to say no cards do that. You got to have an authorized user card, which is how many of them work, or you got to be with the primary card member. But the United Explorer does, if you send somebody that, one-time pass. And I believe that the Globe card for AA does, because you can give somebody that pass. And I believe the Citi Strata Elite does, because you can give them that pass. So the answer is, at least correct me if I'm wrong, but the answer is most of the time they have to have an authorized user card. But when it's just a day pass, many of those you can just give to anybody who's traveling. And I know that works with the United ones because I've done it with my kids in the past. And I've heard reports that it works with the American ones as well. So I thought it was an interesting question. All right, let's see. What do we have? We have 77. We did it. And 32 people have hit the like button. So thank y'all for that. Remember I said I wanted to get to 70, and we did. That's great. Okay, this is on my video. It was a live session on Cash is King, why rewards travel isn't free. And Real Dridge says, as far as built hotel credits, it depends on the hotel. Some are prepay with immediate credit applied, and some are prepay with credits after the stay. Yeah, it's weird because I paid for my built hotel stay, and I had to pay it all up front, which I'm fine with. I was expecting to do that. But I've heard reports of others who they book it and they pay at the hotel. That might be better because I think you're going to get built points on that as well. So it does function in two different ways, depending on the hotel you're staying at. Margraf says, unfortunately, I think you're right. I was shocked when they allowed 1-1 at launch with AA for the Premier. Immediately made the Elite undesirable for a lot of people. Going forward, it's pay to play. Yeah, I think it's going to be, and that's going to be the value of high dollar cards is where I think it's all going to be headed. Coder says B of A pre-travel gives 4 priority passes to hand out too. Okay, so there's another example. But again, those are day passes, so that seems to be the theme going forward, that these day passes work in that way. Okay, this is on the video or annual fees worth it also. Money Miles Maven said, Black Lane did not cost you $7. You prepaid the first 100. Okay, so he's addressing when I was talking about my City Strata Elite and the Black Lane. And I talked about how in Abu Dhabi, we booked a Black Lane for a 45-minute ride. Awesome car, awesome experience. It was $107. So I said it only cost me $7. But it depends on how you look at it, because I can see his point. I think that's valid. But my point is I had already discounted. I don't count the Black Lane as part of my, what I'm getting in return on my annual fees from credits, because I might use it and I might not use it. And it's a luxury. It's a cool benefit. And so I don't even count it that way. So for me, and you do get it twice a year, not just once. To me, it's just discounting off of that ride. So that's why I said it that way. And I still think of it that way. But I do see the point. And there's two different angles, two different ways of looking at that, as there are with so many different things in this game. All right. 76 still watching. So we draw close to the end here. All right. Comments on are your annual fees worth it? Same video. Mike Newland, the man who gifted 20 memberships. Some of you received those memberships tonight. Mike said, are we measuring annual fee value correctly? Are most cardholders confusing theoretical value with realized value? Yeah, I think that is such a valid question. When it comes to annual fees, I am very precise in how I figure it. In fact, I go back and I keep track of everything I got. I have a spreadsheet and I put check marks when I receive it, both monthly and the yearly and the quarterly and the biannually and all that. And so I can go back in December and I can see exactly what I got back on every single one of my cards. But I don't know that everybody does that. So I think there is probably a lot of breakage with a lot of people who think I'm going to get this, but they don't keep track of it. So they don't even know how much they actually got back on those annual fees. So Mike, that's a great, astute observation. Drinks with Sven, thanks Mike for the gift membership. And I thank Mike as well. Mike acknowledged that. And Charvicio, that's a great point. A card might have some credits you just don't have the means of using. Yeah. Equinox? Yeah. I mean, I've seen one in my life. One. I'm never going to use that thing. I'm not going to use the Aura Ring credit. I don't want that thing. I mean, it's just, I think it's great for people who want it, but I don't need that. So there's a lot of those kind of credits. So that's absolutely true. And that is the last one that I had on deck for tonight. And that brought us to 53 minutes. So we got a few more minutes. I try to go an hour. So if anybody has any more comments, questions, just things you want to job out here, we'll try to do that before we wrap up. Salty O'Rourke says, B of A Premium Rewards Elite card gives 4 priority pass, including restaurants. Great for extended family. Yeah. And as was just mentioned, those can be gifted to other people as well. So that seems to be the standard. If it's a day pass, they can be gifted. If it's just a lounge pass in general, got to be an authorized user or be with the initial card member. Silver 3, I used Black Lane on my trip to Hong Kong last month. Feel like it was a good experience. Yeah. Well, I'm getting ready to book our next Black Lane. Again, I got to wait till July, but in July, I'm going to book our next one for Hong Kong from the airport. So we'll hopefully have as good of an experience as you did, because we've done 2 Black Lanes now, one in New York City and the other one in Abu Dhabi. Loved them both. Loved them both. It's one of the coolest, not the most rewarding, but it's one of the coolest benefits of the Elite card. Sammy, I might give Black Lane a try once Built finally opens up the Built Cash Black Lane credit. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's a cool experience to have them with a placard with your name on it, waiting at baggage claim. And you know what people say? Well, It's just, it's not as cheap as Uber and all that. Yeah, it ain't the same thing as Uber. I mean, Uber gives you 5 minutes, then they start charging you or they leave. Black Lane, it's an hour. They'll wait for you for an hour. And if your plane's delayed, they'll even change that up. It's not the same experience. It's not fair to compare the two things. Mike Newland, it's always great to see you creators getting excited when they get a new card like you are with the summit. So thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. Thank you for everything. And thank you for the advice you gave me in the Discord and things about it. And everybody who did, I'm excited about it. I mean, because at the heart of it, I was doing this before I was ever a creator. And hopefully everybody who's a creator, they're doing it because they love this, and if there was no YouTube tomorrow, they'd still be doing this because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Charles B., the B of A pre isn't a day pass. It's their own full priority pass with restaurants. Oh, okay. I've never had a B of A card except for the Atmos card. So CG8990 is a channel member. Hey, Bob, are you prioritizing going after Built Platinum status? I probably will hit it. But no, I'm not really prioritizing it. It'll just be kind of natural that I hit that. I'm pretty satisfied here at gold. The transfer bonuses have been pretty good, and I've got enough built cash I could bump them if I needed to. So that's kind of helpful as well. Dr. Christian Heidelberg says, you will love the summit with the Palladium combination. I am excited about it. And I'm going to be slamming that thing on our big trip this fall. And I got a couple other little trips too. I'll be using it on too. Silver 3 is from the airport to the city is a better experience than the other way around. Driver is waiting for you at the airport. They can also track your flight so they're ready for you. That's awesome. Yep. I'm excited to book it. How much was it, by the way? How much was the total price, if you remember? St. Patrick, we joined the dark side. Had my wife apply for the Built Palladium today, and she got $50,000 credit limit. All right. Congratulations, Patrick. That's awesome. Welcome to the club. MJ Tastic, for me, the annual fee is just the cost of buying access to the card's benefits. If I'd naturally use the credits anyway, I'd treat those credits as discounts against the cost. That's exactly my point. Yep. It's exactly my point. All right. I think we've come to the end of our comments. 52 still watching in here. Thank you guys for sticking through to the end. Let me go back through because I got a lot of big time thanks to give tonight. First and foremost, we got to thank MJ Tastic for a $49.99 super gift. Thank you so much. That's the biggest single gift I think I've ever received on the channel. But then I got to thank the next one, Mr. Mike Newland, the man, the myth, the legend, who has given me the greatest composite gifts I've ever received on the channel when you add it all together. And he gifted 20 memberships tonight. Thank you, Mike, for that very much. And then good buddy Dim, the man, the myth, and the spender. He's the one that puts so much on his cards. But Dim, thanks for all the advice you've given me in the Discord. But thank you so much for that $9.99 gift tonight as well. And I think that kind of brings us to the end of those. Let's wrap up with the last comments. Silver's 130 from the airport to Kowloon. All right. I can do that. That sounds like a great deal. Mike Newland, why did you get the summit after the elite? After the elite. I don't know. Because Nona got the elite. That's why. St. Patrick, who did they pull from? I haven't checked that yet. I think they pull from Experian when I was researching beforehand. So I checked my Experian report first, and I think that's who they pull from. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you, everybody, for being in here. The great conversation. And here at the end, Coder Corral gifts 5 Reward Master memberships. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. That helps a ton. That puts me up around, I don't know, with the 20 and the 5, about 250 channel members. So our Discord may grow. That'll be awesome. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you here. I'll have a video. I'll have, of course, my regular live on Sunday afternoon. Have a video coming out tomorrow. See you here next time. Thanks for your